Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Next video in our whole series of how to avoid a lawsuit or a dental board regulatory complaint is about decals and caries in braces and Invisalign. And actually, when I first got certified in Invisalign, I remember them saying there's never been a case of white spots or decalcification or caries. Bullshit. Bullshit. I see it all the time. I call BS on that. As a matter of fact, I feel like I see it worse because here's what I see. So, first of all, there's so much more energy drinks than there ever was when I first started. And when aligners first started, that really wasn't a thing. I mean, yeah, there was juice, but kids didn't drink juice, and they may have drinking soda. But this energy drink with the acid and all their whatever they put in there, and the bubbles, and the just intense sugar, it rots your teeth. And when you wear an aligner and you drink it, it's worse. And the thing, at least about braces kids, is that they know they've got food restrictions, so they're at least somewhat aware. So usually they're packing a certain lunch or certain foods that they can't eat. So they, and it's actually less dangerous in braces to drink an energy drink because it's just gonna wash off. At least the saliva is gonna take it off. Whereas if you're drinking it with a tray in, it sits and bathes in there. It's 10 million times worse. So the bombed out teeth is so much worse. And I mean, this is happening more with cases where they're giving them the whole box and they're checking in virtually, and I don't know how much these doctors are checking virtual or if they even have a virtual system that they're checking every week. If there were, first of all, I would never give the whole box. I know there's some orthos that do it, but it's on you if some patient never shows back up again and bombs out their teeth. It is on you because you gave them the whole tray. At some point, if you only give them some and they don't come back in, yeah, you can. And again, this is on you for managing your patient base, knowing what patient abandonment is, and making sure you discontinue the treatment if they don't show back up, going through your series, following your dental practice act, going through the phone calls, the emails, the messages, document everything, and eventually sending a certified letter. But you need to catch it. You can't let this go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, because if they keep wearing their trays or if they have braces on and they're bombing out their teeth, it's on you. It will 100% be on you for patient abandonment. You need to run a tight ship on your ortho. If something is glued on their teeth, I don't care if it's a bonded retainer, it's something that they're wearing. Now, if you've discontinued treatment and it's a retainer and it's not bonded, it's not on you, okay? Because as long as they have signed that discontinuance, someone over 18 has signed it, you are now released, okay? Retainer checks not required, okay? I mean, a courtesy is up to a year if they're drinking with their S6 in, but most people aren't wearing their S6 24/7 for their whole life because they're going to fall apart at some point. So, and you should have a pack of 4. But again, going on aligners, so let's talk about this a little bit more. How are you going to get in trouble? Well, mostly it's patient abandonment, forgetting about your patient, or just giving them the whole tray. I mean, if they're non-compliant and you only give them 4 aligners, at some point it's not going to work, and then it's less of an issue, right? So then it's more of an issue to have braces because something is glued on the teeth that they're not breaking. So I mean, it's food and energy drinks, but it's also hygiene. So it's your job not to start the case, not to glue anything on the case, not to deliver anything until you are sure that they can demonstrate good oral hygiene. If it's iffy, don't do it. Don't be pressured by that office manager. Don't be pressured by that. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I got stories. Can't you just glue one bracket on the tooth? Can't you just do 8 and 9? I don't have a bracket for 8, but I'll give you 7. You could do 7 and 9. No, I'm not putting 2 brackets on just to glue 2 teeth. The hygiene is awful. That is no benefit to the patient. I'm not doing it just so you can meet your start requirements. The weird stuff that happens in DSOs is obnoxious, and it also happens in private practice because you've got, KPIs and stuff like that, and they put it on the doctor and they will fire you in a lot of DSOs if you do not hit your start requirements, even if you're following the standard of care. And looking back on the amount of verbal abuse I got over the years from office managers, owners, I mean, oh my goodness, I would never do that again. I mean, you have to be a really strong person to put up with that stuff. And as much as they, oh yes, we follow the laws. No, you don't. So, because you don't care, because it's ultimately, guess who it's on? It's on the dentist. That is who is liable, the dentist. It's you. So, and I don't care even if you're a W-2, it's still you. So if there's any borderline hygiene issues, you do not take that case. You send them back to the general dentist. You get a cavity and a hygiene clearance. You let the general dentist be responsible for it. And guess what? If you're a GP and you sign one of those suckers, you legally responsible for that throughout their braces treatment. You better make sure they're coming in for their hygiene appointments because now it's on you. It's on you. So if you sign one of those, you can't not sign one. I mean, you can not sign one. You can say, no, they're not cleared by me. But then you have to have a solution. You have to You know, whether you bill the parents for more work or more hygiene checks or whatever, you know, PMTs. I don't know if the patient has that much oral hygiene issues, they should be in your office more than every 6 months anyways, you know, and or you might have to discontinue them from your general practice. So you guys got to figure this out. You know, between you, if you're not doing the hygiene, I think it's worse when the person who's doing the ortho is doing the hygiene, because a lot of times they forget to get those cavity clearances every 6 months. And again, that's on you. It's not on your front desk. It's on you to make sure that's coming in every 6 months. So you got to figure out the log. You got to figure it out. You got to put it in the charting. You got to have alerts come up. This is you to figure this out. And even more critical, of course, if there's hygiene issues or if you're starting to get decals or white spot issues, you may have to stop treatment early. You may have to do a braces vacation. If you don't know what a braces or an aligner vacation is, go into my YouTube channel, Straightsmile Solutions, put that keyword in. Sometimes you got to stop treatment. Yeah, parents are going to be pissed. But you know what? If you had properly gone over this every month, and that's why I love doing a hygiene score every time they come in. You know, before when they come in, we're not just looking at plaque and giving them a grade on their plaque. We're giving a grade on their gums. You know, you can have wooden nickels. If you don't know what wooden nickels are, most ortho practices have incentives for good hygiene, for compliance and stuff like that. There are awesome incentive programs. And that's what a lot of GPs aren't doing when they're doing ortho, is creating the incentive programs. You got to have the incentive programs, good and bad, positive and negative, and there needs to be consequences for negative. And everyone needs to understand what the consequences are. It shouldn't be a shock if you have to remove the braces. It shouldn't be a punishment. It should be, we have to do this to protect your teeth. Mom, I'm sorry. I am beholden to something called the State Dental Practice Act, you know, and that is what I'm beholden to, is to keep my license and to be able to practice dentistry. I spent a lot of time and a lot of money prep to do this, and I don't want to lose my license. I mean, you have to say it like this, but I mean, this is the ultimate truth. You have, sometimes when you're really honest like that, they get it. And if they're being jerks, well, you don't want them as a patient. So you got to vet these people ahead of time. Listen, bad hygiene doesn't just show up out of nowhere. It was there for a few months before. It's not just going to happen just because you started ortho treatment. They had plaque along their gum line. They weren't flossing. You need to nip that stuff and get them motivated. And you know, if they're not willing to put the effort out, then you shouldn't start treatment. You could always start in a year or two. It's okay. There's always many other cases that you can take. So this is a decalcification or scars in the teeth is a huge no-no. As soon as you start to see any sign of that, you better get them on supplemental fluoride, send them to perio, send them to, well, this is not perio. Sorry, my bad. Send them back to the GP. If GP isn't doing anything, you take a braces vacation. You take them off. You may have to give a partial refund. You may not. Depends on what you signed ahead of time. Depends on where you are in treatment. But all this should have been worked out with the patient and the parents ahead of time. It should be agreed on, understood, and how this is going to work, and you should have been documented. And every month, everyone should be talking about hygiene in my progress notes, hygiene was always mentioned every single time. And the RDAs and RDHs also mentioned it. Everyone mentioned it. It was always discussed. We knew who had the bad hygiene, who was on the warning hygiene naughty list. And every patient who knew that their braces might stop due to hygiene knew that the next month could be their last month, and at any time I could take it off. I don't need permission. Parents don't want to sign the discontinuance. It's okay. I got to do what I got to do. It's early termination. Parents decline to sign. Oh, well, it is what it is. And yeah, they may still have fees. Yeah, they might make a complaint, but they won't win. So you did the right thing. So just do it. Hold your ground on this. You don't want to deal with this. This is a huge lawsuit. And in addition, one of the webinars I was on mentioned that if this can happen in a kid, and if they have so much decay that they're going to need veneers or crowns on, 20 teeth or so, they're going to build this into the cost. You're going to have it every 5 years, because these don't last a lifetime, times 40. Figure this out. 10 grand times 40, plus all the inconvenience, trauma, wear and tear, they might turn into an implant. I mean, this could easily be $500,000 to $1 million lawsuit. Really dumb if you're not on it for hygiene. It's so easy. It's not hard.